Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network. This has been a fun week. I've had a lot of questions thrown at the RBCN staff, and we've had a lot of fun coming up with some, some answers. And plus, it's Friday. My goodness, it's Friday. So I know you're probably just as excited as I am about that. I'm ready for the weekend. So besides that overstatement of the obvious, let's go over to today's question. And it is, can you please talk about your favorite quick hitters? And I sure can. And I know Coach Brooks is one of the better, if not one of the better, if not the best teacher of set plays. And he's also on our staff. We're so lucky to have him. And I'm going to ask also forward this question to him. He's got just a gigantic repertoire of sets. We used quick hitters as entries into our blocker mover, and I'm working on a video for that as we speak, which I'm hoping to have done by Thanksgiving break, and that'll be our sets or entries, as we call them, into blocker mover. But I'll go over a few here, and if you are interested in that, you'll be able to find it along with all the other content we have on our website at www.myrustbeltbasketball.com, and check out our website. I think you'll really like it. There's a lot of good stuff on there. So, set plays. Here is one we utilized a lot of years. And if any of my old players are on here, we called this 12, and it was one of their favorites. My stuff was extremely simple. I'm a huge advocate of simple. So one can take the ball either direction. Typically, we ran this out of what we called our diamond formation. So let's say we're playing one of those rare teams who doesn't force us to the left. And here comes our point guard. Once he gets to foul line extended, that is the trigger point. 3 and 2 and 5 are all moving simultaneously. So 5 goes to get X3, and X3 goes over the top of 5 and sprinting to the corner simultaneously. 2 back screens 4, and 4 cuts to the rim and seals, leg whips his man right there, and wants the ball delivered right there to his left hand, baseline side, and we're going to rocket that thing if he's open. And we practiced this in a breakdown drill religiously. We wanted that ball rammed in there into 4. And the counter then, of course, is here comes 5 headhunting 2 for a 3-point shot. Now, the one thing that I do think it gets overlooked on this set a lot is we would most certainly pound that ball to 3 if X3, because you've got this really nice ball side triangle here. And if X3 got his hand in the ball line between 1 and 4, we would most certainly pound that thing to 3 and look to lob it, or throw a baseline side bounce pass, or hit 5. You got a high low now, or 5 can also rip drive and play 2-on-2 with 4. So if the ball went to 2, 1 to 2, and we wanted him to take that shot, on that shot, 4 is going to box out his man for what we call ORB, offensive rebounding positioning. And here comes 5. Now, X5 more often than not is going to be playing on 5's outside side because the ball came from 1. So after 5 screened, he's going to flash to the ball really hard for that quick high low or rip drive. So more often than not, X5 is going to be on his outside, meaning off rim side. So when that ball goes to 2, 5 is expecting him to shoot it, so he is going to take his outside leg and spin and leg whip him and ride him, make X5 ride him like a pony down the lane line, and he's going to extend that left hand and use his right arm to keep him off or keep him on midline side to establish offensive rebounding potency. And he's going to go right down that area looking for that offensive rebound. Now, if he doesn't get the rebound, or if 2 doesn't shoot it, rather, 2's going to rip it and drive it as hard as he can towards that elbow. I mean, drive it hard. Now, that's not to say if he can't get past his man. And these they can play 3-man triangle basketball. He most certainly would. Doesn't mean he couldn't kick it to one. Doesn't mean he couldn't kick it out to three. No, we wanted our kids to take advantage of what the defense gave them. But let's say he's got a far superior athlete on him, and he's uh, racked up, so to speak. He drives that thing at that elbow or that close proximity, and 5 is going to go out, and here comes your flex cut, boom, and here comes your down screen, and what we wanted right there was a ISO with our point guard, boom. So that's what we called 12. Uh, Pacer, I got off Tom Johnson when he was the head coach at Oak Hill in Indiana, and then he went to Crown Point in Indiana and had just a storybook career at Crown Point, and Crown Point is known for basketball. My goodness, have they produced a lot of great basketball players, and they're known for having a great administration, and they're known for supporting their teachers and their coaches. And what a beautiful community, Crown Point, in one of my favorite areas in the world, Northwest Indiana. So this is going to start in a two guard front. And the only two guys I've seen utilize this in my years in Ohio are Matt Hackenberg, and I can't remember where he coaches. He coaches over in the Canton area somewhere, and uh, Tyson McLaughlin at Ottawa Glandorf. 3, 5, and 2. Okay. So it's two guard in front, and I usually diagram these things with everything going to the left because everybody in both states I coached in Indiana and Ohio forced us left. So we're going to take the ball. That's it. And it's going to go here to the pro spot. And once that ball gets to that pro spot, that's the trigger for 3 and 2 to go simultaneously. Best shooter, 2, goes to the corner. 3's going to peel off of this. He's got to get to the wing. And teaching this is he can get in. If he's getting jammed, he can L cut, not use the screen. He can curl the screen and send 5, but we got to get the ball to that wing, okay? And we're isolating the low post on the left side of the floor. So let's say we get the ball here. Okay, and now we've got the ball side triangle. And 1 is going to come to true north and give himself space. Now 4 has a really cool role in this set. He can flash here. He can kind of just hang out in this area. We really didn't want him going out here necessarily unless he was a great shooter. If he was a great shooter, a stretch 4, I think it's the modern lingo, then sure. But we wanted him to kind of hang out in here. But we wanted these two defensive players, X1 and X4, to have to make a lot of tough decisions as to who was going to help on this ISO. And we wanted 4 to sneak around and even flare for 1. And these two guys just played 2-on-2 sort of. But ultimately, we wanted the ball to go here, whether it came from that angle or this angle or the rip drive. If the ball went to 4, we looked at the high low. Then 1 would most certainly sprint to the weak side wing, and you've got that great box action now. And another coach who utilized this set was Steve Whitty at Ben Davis, and uh, just a legend in the state of Indiana, an absolute legend, and one of the most gracious and unbelievably nice and giving coach for someone who has achieved everything in the game of basketball. State champions, more coach of the year, just a amazing man, amazing man. Boyce, we stole this. Boyce, Boyce. We stole this from Dave Boyce, who is known for set plays. He and Tom Johnson were two of the best, and Marty Johnson. But those guys were the best teachers of set plays I ever saw. And of course, Coach Boyce is still the head basketball coach of Perrysburg, and they just run sets. He has no continuity offense. They run set after set after set, and they are all extremely difficult to defend, and they are all taught with precision, and they have the major four characteristics of set plays, which I've listed on our new video. But if you have questions about sets, I know Wayne Brooks is going to help us, but those people aforementioned, contact them. Dave Boyce, my God, and he's a giving man too. For a big time coach, this guy is unbelievable. You know, another thing about these guys I just mentioned, these guys go to a clinic and they give you all of their stuff. They give you, they get, you know, they're old school guys. They got that Vince Lombardi philosophy where, yeah, you know what's coming. Stop it. You know, if you stop it, I tip my hat to you. But they are so good at teaching these things, they don't care less if you know what's coming. Dave Boyce will give you every set in his playbook. So was Steve Liddy. Tom Johnson would actually sit. We would be at Hooters on the old the Monday nights, getting ready for a Friday, Saturday games. So we're video exchange on Monday nights in Northwest Indiana, and Tom is drawing his stuff on napkins and giving it to people. People need a special situation set, you know, and those guys were so confident in their ability to teach, they could care less if you knew it. Anyway, Boyce. Again, extremely simple. Extremely simple. You know, one's going to get the ball to the three, or one's going to dribble it over, and three's going to loop around, but the ball's going to get to three. And here comes four. And two is going to occupy his man here. Now, this kid is an incredible shooter. He can light it up, he can flat light it. Flat light it. And you've got your ball side triangle now. And one goes to the weak side pro spot. And as soon as X1 gets in here a little bit too deep, he's going to cut right back for a rip drive. But 3, 5, and 4 are going to play 3-on-3 in this triangle. And people say all the time, if you can't stop that, you don't have any business coaching. Okay, well, more power to you. But when you've got good players utilizing this with an exceptional coach who has taught a multitude of different plays, or not plays, but actions, you know, they teach their kids how to play. So this is just a schematic on what they want. They want the ball to go here. But that doesn't mean if this person who's shooting 45% from the 3-point line gets the ball, that's part of the whole that's part of the whole thing here, you know. It's designed to make you pay for playing fundamental man-to-man defense. Bennett, from Coach Dick Bennett, my mentor. Again, Coach Bennett believed in simplicity, and I don't think there's a thing in the world wrong with that. He takes his two players, his best screener and his best shooter, and they stack up here. And you've got 4, and you've got 3, and 3 can line up anywhere on the court he wants. And the ball goes to 3, and here's your standard back screen, pop. And these 3 people are going to play 3-on-3, and these 2 guys are going to occupy their men and stretch the floor horizontally. 5 is staying in between X2 and 2. And 2's freelancing. And that's what 5's doing. He's moving up the floor vertically. And if whoever has the ball in this pro spot flings that thing over the top to 2, 2 can drive it, whatever. It's just a schematic for where he wants the ball. They want them to score the ball in the lane. Great set play. I'll throw one more in here, then I'll leave the rest on our video. This is a good play out of, we got a lot of miles out over the years, and I don't remember who I got. Oh, I do. I just was talking about legendary coaches, and I remember Basil Malby, one of the ultimate legends in high school basketball in the great state of Indiana. I saw him run this when he was the head coach at Lewis Cass. State championship coach at Cass, won a state championship at Crawfordsville, should have won a state championship at Kokomo, but you know, should have, could have, would have, you know, if the queen had testicles, she'd be the king, that kind of stuff. But what a great coach, and another gracious human being. My goodness, these guys I've spoke about were so good to my wife and I when we were young, and they still are good to us now that I'm a little bit longer in the tooth, but just such good people. Excuse me. Okay. So here's your standard box set for America's play. One's going to bring the ball to the wing. And here comes your shooter. And 5 and 4 are going to pinch. And whether he goes around or goes up the middle. Now, 3's sprinting to the corner. So it's a little bit different. But the ball's going to 2 here. That's not to say, again, 4 couldn't slip it. Or 5 couldn't roll over the top. They're just, this is just their schematic. But if the ball goes to 2, 5 and 4 are sprinting together as if they have a rope tied around their waist, and they got all 4 fists up in the air, screaming 3's name. And here comes 3, and 2 takes a hard dribble across that midline, reverses his pivot, and bingo. So a little bit of a different look of America's play. So those are a few. Again, I will have Coach Brooks get back to us with a video, because his sets are just as good, if not better. I've had to guard his sets, and the thing with Coach Brooks was timing and screening. They would screen the lug nuts off of a semi, just and the timing. My God, just a fantastic coach. I think the first time we played against each other, the score at halftime was 9-9. So anyway, have a great Thanksgiving. Okay, and I'll get this stuff out. And again, if you're interested in our video on set plays, it'll be coming out very soon. And again, check out our new website. You're going to like the stuff on there. And hey, it's one of our mantras. We're going to create material and make videos in all of our products that are suitable for your personal budget and also for your school budget. Everything now is so darn expensive. We're not like that. We're making our stuff in-house. Tomorrow I'll be at Huntington North for a mic'd up practice. We bought all of our own equipment. We make all of our own stuff in-house, and our stuff is so reasonably priced compared to our competitors. I mean, I think it's $2.99 a month, I believe, if you want to be on a monthly subscription. What is it, $40 or $50 a year, something like that, for an annual subscription. So, or you can buy things individually, or you can rent them off our video or off our website platform. So check it out, www.myrustbeltbasketball.com. My email address is Derek, D-E-R-E-K, Derek, at myrustbeltbasketball.com. And my name is Derek Sheridan. And I want you to have the best Thanksgiving of your life. And we're going to finish this Friday off like champs. And by God, at 3:45, I might just do an Irish jig. God bless, folks.